Let's talk about a role that plays a pretty big part in how we get things done, our senior contract manager. This review is meant to give you a solid understanding of what this role entails. At the core, the senior contract manager handles the full life cycle of government and defense related contracts. So from early proposal stages all the way through closeout. That means making sure we're aligned with FAR, DFARS, and internal policies every step of the way. This person works closely with finance and programs teams to making sure contracts aren't just signed, but they're executed the right way. Along the way, they'll be managing things like consultant agreements, NDAs, subcontracts, CTAs, modifications, all the stuff that keeps us compliant and moving forward. Now, because this is a trust-based role and we are a trust-based organization, they'll also be expected to teach, helping others understand contract best practices. So whether that's across a company or a partner, being comfortable with public speaking and having a desire to instruct or mentor others is a huge win. Let's look at the general qualifications. Okay, in terms of background, we're looking for someone who has DoD or contract specialist experience, the familiarity with how the DoD runs acquisitions, especially from the small business side, is important. You'll need a strong understanding of FAR, DFARS, and federal procurement, experience with sole source justifications, approvals, legal reviews is a huge win. And this person needs to be detail-oriented, organized, and a strong communicator, both verbal and written. Now, we are also looking for someone who either has teaching or training experience or wants to grow into being that kind of thought leader. You will need to be a US citizen and eligible for a top secret clearance. That doesn't mean you need to have one when you apply, but being eligible for a clearance does help us stay flexible for the kinds of contracts we want to support. Now let's scroll down and look at the education and certifications. So you'll need at least a bachelor's degree, ideally in business administration, government contracts, finance, or similar. A master's degree is a plus. The required certifications are the CFCM, Certified Federal Contract Manager, CPCM, Certified Professional Contract Manager, the DAWIA Level 3, and the FAC-C. Okay. These help show you've got the technical grounding for this role. Now, looking at the key deliverables, this will give us a understanding of the core outputs for this position. So first, you'll be accountable for general contract management, which includes consultant agreements, CTAs, NDAs. And under the service contract management, you'll be managing documents like contract data requirements list, OCI mitigation plans, and service contract modifications and subcontracting details. Now let's look at the knowledge and skills. You'll need to have a strong working knowledge in federal procurement, like how defense contract managements work across the full life cycle, and the different types of contracts, like cost reimbursement, time and materials, and firm fixed price. You should also understand contract law, audit processes, and be familiar with key export control and cybersecurity clauses like ITAR and DFARS 7012. Lastly, the key skills, you'll need to be confident in interpreting the FARS, DFARS, and agency-specific rules. You'll be negotiating terms, writing cost proposals and pricing narratives, and flagging risk areas before they become problems. Strong communication is important, especially when you're explaining contract obligations to folks outside of contracts. Being familiar with ERP and contract management systems is definitely a part of this job. So I hope that this gives you a better understanding of the senior contract manager position and you see that it is a blend of legal knowledge and business strategy and leadership. It supports mission execution, it protects the business, and trains others along the way. At the end of the day, this role keeps our contracts clean, compliant, and set up for success. It's the kind of role that makes everything else possible. So if you are working with us or exploring who we are, this role is a great example of how we blend structure, accountability, and expertise into everything that we do.
NTI is an equal opportunity employer. All qualified applicants will receive consideration for employment without regard to race, color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, national origin, disability, or protected veteran status. NTI complies with all applicable local, state, and federal employment laws, including those enforced by the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, Office of Federal Contract Compliance Programs, and U.S. Department of Labor. This position is governed by the Federal Acquisition Regulation, the Defense Federal Acquisition Regulation Supplement, and may be subject to additional compliance and security requirements as outlined in applicable federal contract clauses. These may include requirements related to ethics, cybersecurity, human trafficking prevention, export control, and other contract-specific obligations.